Welcome to the Bryan Callen Show. As always, brought to you by the best flip-flop company on the planet, Toehold. Yeah, Wicket and Craig Leather. I mean, they just get better and better as you wear them. But by the way, I misspoke and said we weren't taking orders. We are taking orders. We just had to... You're not going to get them by Christmas because we got such a massive influx. We got thousands of orders. It got crazy. We're selling not just flip-flops. We sell bags. Take a look at those bags for women. Take a look at the beanies. Take a look at the wallets that we have. We're becoming this sort of like larger company. It's not just it's an American flip-flop company and the best flip-flops on the fucking planet. But we're also starting to expand into other products. Keeping the same psycho commitment to quality. That's the bottom line. Why are the flip-flops $350 and more? Because 550 steps go into making one pair by hand with the best materials literally you can find, including Vibram soles. I hike in mine. Can't break them. I mean, I don't know how you break them. It's impossible. Okay. Let's get into some stuff I want to talk about.
Shouldn't hike in them.
I hike in them. I fucking hike in mine. I walk miles in my flips. In fact, I prefer to walk in my flips.
What if you come up on a rattler?
Rattler?
Yeah, what if you come up on a rattler?
Snakes, and this is going to sound cocky, and I'm going to say it out loud. I walk a righteous path.
Okay.
I wake up every morning and I ask my Creator, I say, fill me with courage. Allow me, give me the power to be an example of righteousness, of honesty, and of love.
Okay.
Power. And when you walk in a righteous path, snakes, and I'm going to say it. I know it's obnoxious, but snakes cower. They do, I know. They don't rattle. They bow their heads. They turn. And they make way. And I'm going to say this too. You could cast upon the ground. I'm sorry about my biblical wording, but I've been reading the Bible lately. You could cast 1,000 snakes before my feet. I would not break stride. The most venomous snakes you can imagine. Hop them up on adrenaline. You know, get them coked up if you want. I don't know, whatever you have to do to get a snake to be aggressive. Breed the most aggressive snakes. Take a year to breed the most aggressive snakes the way you do bite dogs. Cast them before my feet by the thousands. Daddy won't miss a fucking stride because Daddy walks a righteous path. Don't be surprised if the snakes... if the snakes cower.
That's patently
I know.
insane.
Hold on.
That's just categorically untrue.
Don't be surprised if they cower and not only turn their heads and give me their tails as a path, highlighting my path, but also keep in mind that they're not going to run away. They're going to dig their stupid diamond-headed faces into the dirt as a sorry for being in my presence. I'm sorry, that sounds really messianic, but it's what happens when snakes see me.
It's what happens when you have toe holds on your feet.
It's what happens so I can wear my toe holds anywhere. Now, a couple things. I had an interesting experience. I worked with my buddy Adam Pook. He's a physical therapist, and he's so interesting because he's like super animated and he's got a very different way of looking at the human body. And I love physios. Like I follow Squat University and, that guy knows everything. But one of the things I worked with him and he said, you're plantar fasciitis. So when you get plantar fasciitis, when you get your feet, are in pain, okay? Which by the way, the reason I'm so obsessed with toe holds is it cured my feet. But when your feet are in pain, you have plantar fasciitis, you'll go to a doctor and they'll give you insoles. They do all this shit. But 50 to 60% of all foot pain doesn't go away, apparently. So what the hell's going on? Well, if you work with a real physio who understands body alignment, what they'll say is that you got to start with where your hips are sitting on your body. Where are the impingements, and what is that doing to your pelvic tilt? You got low back pain? Is your pelvic tilt, what angle is your pelvic tilt? All right? Your pelvis is like a bowl. And I'm just quoting Adam and a lot of physios. Your pelvis is like a bowl. If your pelvis is pushed, if your psoas muscles, the muscles are tight, and your pelvis is and my ass is popping out, now I got a perked rear. I got a perked rear.
Yeah.
My lower back is going to get all this tension. It's going to be all bunched up. Now, if I do the kind of exercise, I'm going to take my pelvis and tilt it this way. Now I'm opening up my lower back. You understand? Okay? So apparently, I like this analogy. He said your pelvic tilt, your pelvis should be at a 20-degree angle. It should be turned this way, just so if water was in your pelvis, it's pouring out at a 20-degree angle.
Why are you laughing?
Because I think it's funny. Because when your hips, I'm going to get to a larger point. I'm fucking listening to this. When your hips are aligned properly, your neck, your whole body falls into place. Your shoulders come back, your whole body. When you're wrestling somebody or doing sports, when you're a great wrestler or jiu-jitsu practitioner, what do you control on the body? Head and hips. Head and hips.
Yeah.
Pin their hips to the fucking mat and they can't do any of their stuff.
Fuck yeah.
If you want to know why a lot of Khabib was so good, he would just pin your hips. He'd use his legs to pin you. He'd just shut your legs down. Pin your hips. You got me? When you're yanking on someone's head, if you're strong and you've got a lot of great wrestlers, they just know how to control your head. They're pulling your center of gravity off balance. They're pulling you. When you watch guys punch, good guys, they're in a cylinder. Their head's always under the hips. They low, even if they bend their legs, pop, 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 they hit. You can see guys who are like reaching and punching. That's when they get cracked. So head over hips is your friend. Anything else is bullshit. I like shit like that because that's an overriding principle that you can apply to your entire life.
Wow.
You must be aligned.
Okay.
Physically,
Okay.
politically, spiritually. You got to get to the root. You got low testosterone? Well, are you sleeping and eating properly? You got an autoimmune disease? Let's get into your emotional world. I'm not saying that all autoimmune diseases aren't, but there's evidence that sometimes how your gut profile, which can be affected by your emotional state, your breathing, all this stuff. So maybe I go back to the idea, if there's pain is not the end all be all. It's like I do this joke where, if I'm sad, men turn it either, they take that ball of sad and they turn it to rage.
Yeah.
I'm sad, somebody needs to fucking die.
Yeah.
Or they go right to humor. But you can also take that sad and it'll turn to rage, and then you can take that rage and you can turn it into something creative. It's just energy. Like, what is this energy I'm feeling, and how can I use it you can use it to destroy or to create.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, you can rail against it and go numb, or you can create your way out of that problem. Dude, are you guys writing this shit down?
So you're saying that if you have pain in your throat, you put it in your pelvis to tilt you the right way?
Fuck, Dylan, you missed the whole point.
Fuck, dude, I'm sorry.
You're not good at association or math or putting shit together.
Yeah, comprehension.
Yeah.
Overall comprehension I struggle with.
I put to bed, this weekend was significant. First of all, shout out to fucking Dallas, to Addison Improv. Sold the shit out of that place, had a blast. The crowds were amazing. Texas, you rock. I love Texas. Just quick little housekeeping. Naples, Florida, you're on deck. Off the Hook Comedy Club, December 1, 2, 3, and 4. I got Boston, Massachusetts, Laugh Boston, December 29, 30, 31. I got Fort Wayne, Indiana, Summit Comedy Club, January 12, 13, 14. I got Dania, Florida, Dania Improv. Just go to bryancallen.com, please, for all my dates. I'm coming to a town near you. I'm bringing heat. I got new shit. I love it. I love this stage right now where I'm just surprising myself and I'm coming up with a lot of shit. I love that about writing. I think that's what I love about stand-up. I never get tired of surprising myself because I always go through this crisis where I'm like, I can't write, I suck, I'm a disaster, I'll never do anything. And then all of a sudden I come up with something fun. By the way, get ready for a lot of guests on this show. I'm going to start having guests, but this is just me feeling shit out. We're going to have a new studio. It's all coming, okay? I got a list of people I'm making. Yeah, that's my list.
Okay.
December 6th, I'm going to hang out with Brian Shaw. Strongest man in the world 4 times in a row. Strongest man in the world.
Do you think you could do his diet?
That's what I'm going to eat with him.
You're going to eat with him?
I'm going to work out with him. I just want to see what he's about. Gosh. Yeah.
Because a caloric intake for you daily is what, 850? Bird.
I'm not a bird, you fuck.
Sorry.
I'm not a very substantial man. I understand that. And I come to terms with that as I get older. The fact that I'm more and more vulnerable. Now, wait. What was I talking about? So, speaking of vulnerable, and speaking of the illusion of strength and safety that you walk around in, that idea that you think you're not essentially a bag of oil and water that can be popped like a fucking balloon. We're all balloons floating around a hot lamp, okay? And it's a matter of time before we touch that hot lamp and that hot lamp burns the rubber, the tiny rubber coating around us and pops us, all right? Fucking, my buddy Mark Turner, former Marine sniper, great guy, like badass jiu-jitsu guy, competitive jiu-jitsu guy. I think at one point he was like number 8 in the world or something. In Chicago, great guy, but hooked me up with Matt Rittler, former Navy SEAL, who was a SEAL for 12 years. I did an interview with him, had such an interesting perspective on being a Navy SEAL. He was like, some of it's just, you're just born with a lack of self-preservation. Your instinct for self-preservation is not as developed as the average person, which would be probably, it's probably a genetic liability, but not if you're a warrior. Not if you are the kind of person that has to endure crazy hardship, like extreme cold for long periods of time or whatever. And it was very interesting because I'm going to get to a larger point, but he was saying that part of that is that you're born with that. You're kind of born with, this sort of ability to not worry about your own personal safety. The guy was like, we were outside and it was 37, maybe 40 degrees in Dallas. And I had an undershirt on, I had a long sleeve shirt on, I had a sweater on, and then I had an outer layer, like a fleece outer layer. Okay, that's four layers. I was okay, a little nippy, but I was okay. He was in a long sleeve t-shirt, rolled up to his elbows, and a hat on, like a baseball hat on. That's it. Outside for about an hour and a half. And I finally looked at him, I go, are you not cold? Are you not cold? Like everybody would be cold. How are you not cold? And he looked at me, he goes, I didn't think about it. I don't know. If I am cold, I don't notice it. Okay. Well, Navy SEAL, pussy.
No.
Well, soldier, civilian.
There.
Elite operator, comic.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
I have a problem with that, though, because I walk around thinking that I got a little secret operator in me.
Well, you have powerful haunches.
I got nothing, dude.
That's not true.
I got nothing.
That's not true.
I got powerful haunches for a not powerful guy. Okay?
Wow.
I got powerful haunches for a regular, sometimes working actor / high school varsity athlete. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
This shit is ad nauseum. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's in the SEAL teams. He sees a working dog. He had hog dogs, used to hunt. He had hunting dogs for bird dogs, grew up in Iowa, and they had catch dogs, hog dogs.
What do you use to hunt a hog?
You can use a Dogo Argentino, although I don't agree. They're bullshit dogs.
You don't agree?
They're bullshit dogs. Fucking bad breeding. They go, dad, fuck them. But you get anything. The whole point of a Dogo Argentino, basically, what you like about the Dogo Argentino is basically the pit bull in it, the mastiff in it.
Yeah, it looks
get a
like
pit bull.
a pit bull.
Get a pit bull mix or get a pit bull. That's a great catch dog right there. Yeah, it's a pit bull basically. It's a giant pit bull. That's all. It's just a massive mastiff. Just get a pit bull. I mean, it's a huge animal, so it can take it to the hog, but so can a pit bull. You get a bunch of them. And then he fell in love with bite dogs. He brought this 67-pound Malinois out, and that motherfucker bit me. I was wearing a bite suit. I stuck my elbow into the into the truck. And when a dog is biting you with extreme prejudice, when a dog, and you love dogs, and you know dogs is wagging and they love you. And when a dog is trying to kill you, and all you have is like an inch of fabric, thick fabric, or maybe Kevlar, whatever those suits are made of, find out what those bite suits are made of. And you can feel the pressure of that dog trying to bite your arm off because it hates you.
Durable nylon. Durable
nylon. The thing hates you. That's depressing on many levels. Number one, man's best friend can be made to hate you and try to kill you. Number two, you're human and you're a predator, but there are predators who can kill you with their face. And that's a 67-pound dog that would shred me. And I can't imagine a wolf, mountain lion. I can't imagine a tiger. I can't imagine a saltwater crocodile. See ya. Resistance is futile. You're a bag of fucking oil and water.
Are you more terrified of a Belgian Malinois than you would be a wolf? A solo wolf?
Yes, probably, because a wolf can be fought against. A Malinois, a bite-trained Dutch Shepherd has been taught to take the fight to a person.
Right.
So if you're hitting it, it's going to go harder. A wolf, you have a chance of kind of saying, hey, I'm not somebody you should eat, or don't fight me because it's not worth the dominance struggle here. Get out of here. Although, if a wolf bites you, you're in big trouble. If a wolf bites you and you're wearing that durable nylon suit, there's a chance it's not going to help you. There's a chance it's going to break your fucking wrist anyway. Yes, there's a very good chance. There are German Shepherds that can bite through a nylon suit.
I saw that video I was telling you about that Dutch cyclist who got tracked down by a wolf, and it just didn't seem to scare me at all. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wolves are not confrontational. They don't eat people.
Yeah, this wasn't that.
They have stories of Europe when everybody's starving, including the wolves, maybe, but it's pretty cool, though. Oh, that's awesome. Nah, that thing's just running away. He's not running towards you. He's just trying to run away. Although I wouldn't be waiting around. That's all that happened?
That's all that happened.
What a gorgeous animal.
Stunningly beautiful.
Make no mistake, that, a timber wolf, 150-pound timber wolf, you're so done. You're so fucked. I mean, people don't realize what kind of pressure they can put with their jaws. They can bite your hand off. They can literally bite right through the bones.
So would you rather face 5 timber wolves or 1 grizzly?
You're dead either way.
Okay.
And a grizzly wouldn't want to face 5 timber wolves.
Stupid question. I'm really sorry for how dumb that fucking question was.
It's a dumb question.
Yeah. I apologize. Because I felt how dumb it was as it left my lips. And
it's all right.
I'm a little embarrassed now, actually, quite frankly.
It's okay.
God damn, is that a gorgeous animal?
Yeah, I mean, they're gorgeous. I want a dire wolf so badly. Oh, and here's the other thing. I've always wanted I want a dog that, see, the truth is, if you have a dog and you think that if somebody attacks you, that dog's going to fuck with them, it's going to protect you, chances are it probably won't. It'll just be running in a circle and barking, or unless you train a dog to bite, it's not going to happen. Wow. But, some dogs maybe, but for the most part, they're slim to vanishing. You got to train a dog. We had a long talk about courage. Everybody wants to be brave. Courage may not exist. Every time I talk to, people always make fun of me because I have friends who are, I very much enjoy speaking to people at the top of their game, right? That can be, operators in the military, the guys who have really made it to the elite level. I like talking to those guys because to get to that level, a lot of times you have to have a lot of social intelligence. You also have to have, you've come into contact with objective reality, so you're under no illusions. You're way more humble than most people because you realize how easy it is to be killed yourself, and how most of us are walking around thinking we're way safer than we actually are. It's the same thing with cops, highway patrolmen, who deal with, they see what happens to people in accidents, and then they see a child who wasn't in a car seat properly, and they're like, yeah, I live this reality every day. You're mad because I'm giving you a ticket, but I know what the consequences of that are because I lived it, and I can't get it out of my brain. But you don't. You don't know. So, and then on top of that, I think to be really, really good at something, a lot of times you have to either have to be insanely focused on just that one thing, but also typically, if you're an asymmetrical thinker, which is what a lot of operators are, you have to have eclectic interests. They're interested in way more than just military shit. In fact, they're interested in a whole panorama of things. So you can talk to them. They're very well-rounded. They have range.
Woodworking.
They can fix shit. They can do all kinds of stuff. They're problem solvers. That's what I kind of like about it.
Can you fix anything? Are you handy?
No. I fucking, look, dude, I'll never be happy because I can't do the butterfly properly for long enough.
What?
I can't dunk a basketball. I can't build a log cabin. I don't know how to start a fire with 2 sticks. And at the end of the day, I do totally shitty in the cold. I am delicate. I can handle the heat because I have a long neck and a narrow body. And the other reason I won't be ultimately happy is because, and this is a sin, because I'm lucky, and everything is good. But, I'd like to be 6'3". I would. And also I'd like to be 220 pounds naturally. I want that frame naturally.
Yeah.
And I want to be a mesomorph. I want to be a mesomorph.
Yeah.
I would like to be an extreme mesomorph. It's just me.
Yep.
And I want the kind of hair that I have to have thinned because it's too thick on my head.
Well, you could do that surgery that Ronan Farrow got.
There's no surgery to be done. I'm not doing that.
Well, you just listened?
I know what Ronan Farrow did.
He got new shins put in.
Yeah, well, I think they do it in your thighs.
Sorry.
Yeah, and you can see it online. Show me some examples of this. If I was super short, maybe I would think about it, but it's a very painful surgery. And I believe that if I did something like that, God would say, look at this piece of shit. He's 5'11", 170. He doesn't suffer from any illness. He gets to make people laugh for a living. Off the Hook Comedy Club, December 1 to 4. And, oh my God, hold on. He does all these things. And at the end of the day, he wants to be taller. What I gave him wasn't good enough. And he wants his legs lengthened. For what? And then I would get an infection in my legs and they would have to cut them off. And I would deserve that.
Well, not only that, you walk through life and snakes bow to you and you're still fucking unhappy.
Yeah, I make snakes cower.
Yeah.
Farrow says at 19 he contracted a bone infection in the Sudan, which led to a bone infection, which led to wearing halo braces during his recovery. He apparently went through a remarkable adult growth spurt during that time. Explanation? Can we see any more pictures of him?
Yes. We were speaking to Alistair Botwick, who broke this down for us.
And 100% he is. Is he Frank Sinatra's child?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Who'd they think he was, though?
Woody's, I think, right?
Oh, is that Woody's son, biological son? That he's estranged from? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, says after Ronan finished law school, Mia had him undergo cosmetic surgery to extend his legs and gain a few inches in height.
She's a real peach. She's a real peach.
Do you think she's a talented actress at least?
No, I think she's a
God.
terrible person all the way around. I think she's the worst person of all time. One of the worst. She's a terrible person. And you can see that. I mean, if you look at Alistair Bostwick's actually in-depth investigative journalism, take a look at that. Take a look at what he did. You can see it on YouTube. This guy is, this woman.
There aren't a ton of pictures of his height difference, but the power of the surgery is on display at a company called Height Lengthening in Beverly Hills. This man gained 5 inches.
Oh my God!
See, you could get to 6'3".
That's so remarkable. And he hid his face, but dude, we all know you. You obviously lived your life for a long time. 5'3" to 5'8". Are you kidding me? That's insane.
I think we gotta reach out to these people and at least engage them in conversation to see if this is something.
I want to investigate how you do that. How do you add bone like that? It's insane. It's insane.
So do you want to get riled up right now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready?
Go. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we have biological males who are now sponsored by Tampax. Okay. I think that what's really going on is a debate between, people like to cast as a debate between left and right. I think this is what's really going on is the actual fight is between people who believe that the entire system is in need of destruction and reconstruction. Okay? That we are kind of working with rusty, outdated machinery, and I'm speaking of our institutions, our concepts of male, female, our concepts of, adult, child, our binary world. Our binary world. There are people that are railing against the notion that there are two absolutes, and then other people that believe that everything has to be re-envisioned because we are meshing with machines, because we are becoming transhumanist, because that ultimately what you would consider to be a human as technology meshes with our biology will be able to change, will be fluid, de facto fluid. It'll be de facto fluid. You will wake up one day and be able to change the color of your hair. This is all Ray Kurzweil, all these futurists. All they're doing is extrapolating and looking at where technology is going. With gene editing, what your idea of what race is, everything is going to be thrown into flux. Because we can, your child will have, your child will be born. Before your child's born, they're going to say, this is what your child's going to be. We can look at all these numbers and tell you that your child is going to be, it'll suffer from male pattern baldness by the time he's 35, will be marginally quick, marginally large or small. These are the sports best suited for this child. Your child will definitely not have the physical and genetic advantages of being a great athlete, but we can offer all these things. You will in due time, before your child's born, be presented with options. They'll say, do you want your kid right now is on target to be 5'7". He's a boy. Do you want your child, first of all, to be female or male? Okay, good. Do you want your child to be black, white, brown? How much melanin do you want in their skin? We have a suggestion and a color chart here. This is better for the sun, and as global warming happens, pink's probably a bad color. Plus, they're going to be in a minority anyway, so you probably want your child to look somewhat ethnic. Do you want your child to be? We have this wonderful mix of African and Polynesian, but then we throw in some Swedish. But either way, it's a beautiful color because when the sun hits that skin, there's a golden caramel that happens. And when you contrast that with blue eyes, which we also offer, your child's obviously going to have brown eyes, but we actually are offering the blue eye package, and we have a special today. That goes with the Mediterranean package. It's a beautiful thing. We have our colorist and our stylist that comes in for you, and I'm just giving you the broad overview. But right now, you can choose, and we recommend this. I've seen it, and it's absolutely stunning. You can get this curly, thick Mediterranean hair, this sort of like seafaring hair. You bring in some golden caramel skin, and then you contrast that with what we call the volcanic blue. We have different shades of blue, but I have to say the volcanic blue literally sat us all down. We all literally sat down. I didn't even realize I was sitting down until I saw what this combination looked like. Now, obviously, it is at a premium. However, today, and only today, if you act now, we have a layaway program. And if you look at how it balances out, it's actually only over 40 years, of course. It is only $7 a day. I know. It's crazy. I mean, I want to go back in the womb. I want to look like today. I mean, it's amazing what these kids, the options, and all of us. Hooray to transhumanism. Hooray, hooray to technology. So that's just the physical look. Let's get into performance. Let's get into...
What about dick size?
Oh, hold on. Hold on, sir. Jesus. I'm not even there yet. Wow, that's every dad always asks that question. Every dad asks that question.
Sorry.
We do have our standard size. If you look at we pair it with our standard notion of vaginas. However, now a lot of people, especially in the West, are opting for smaller vaginas. I'm not going to get into why that is, but I guess the sensation being that I don't have an enormous situation down there, and that way I am going to be I will make whoever is involved feel like they have an enormous penis. So we're having this really thing. So guys are all trying, the fathers are having this argument, I want my kid to have a giant penis, and then of course we're dealing with these two aesthetics, and I'm afraid we're going to get to a point where so many of our babies are opting to eventually have 12-inch members, and a lot of the female clientele are looking to have their babies have what's called the demure package. It's a demure package. It's a smaller vagina, if you will. That's a little sticky. I don't want to get into that, but let's get into the athletic package right now. Your child is on course to be a high school varsity athlete if he stays within his weight class. Will not be a football player, but will be a wrestler maybe, or maybe a dancer. If you want the D1 package, we don't offer a professional package because professional sports really has so much to do with your mindset. We're not there yet, but we do offer the D1 package. All of this stuff, I know it's expensive. I know it's daunting, but is your child worth it to you? Do you want an average child, or do you want an outstanding child? And how are you going to explain to your child when all his classmates figured out a way to get the deluxe package? How are you going to explain to your child that he wasn't worth it? And I'm sorry I said he. I just gendered your child. He, she, or whatever wasn't worth it. I'll leave it to you guys to discuss. That's what's going to happen with baby shit. And you think I'm kidding. Enjoy that shit. And then we're going to have really no variety.
Will the hospitals say chest feeding?
Oh, it's going to be, but it's very interesting because it feels like, I don't know how you escape from technology. This Tampax stuff is just basically fucking making sure they're good global citizens, corporate citizens. That's that ENS shit or whatever it is. I mean, it's like fucking all right. And they just have to check a box, which is hilarious to me. But they better be careful. Because a lot of women feel like they're being erased by men. Yeah.
We always win. The woman
Biology?
The men, because the woman of the year this year was a biological male, so kind of subverting feminism, and men win always.
Dylan just raised his fist, and I'm not going to endorse that kind of behavior.
Do you want to know more about the length heightening procedure?
Yes.
Okay, so what is going to happen is we're going to make a small incision in your bone.
A small incision.
Yes, they're going to put a stent in it. Now, the stent will slowly pull the bone apart. Sounds painful. Is. Even more painful is we're going to need to expose the marrow in the bone because it helps with the regeneration process. So once the bone is completely pulled apart, the body will then take over, growing new blood vessels, new nerve endings, and new tissue. It'll be a little bit flimsy, so you won't be able to dunk a basketball because your leg will just split in half, probably under too much pressure. But you will get to 6'1" to 6'3" if you want to.
So the bone will actually grow. They're not putting metal in there. Your bone actually grows.
Yeah. The distraction phase.
Hold on. The best results. Let me see the last chapter. Since the leg bones contain bone marrow and stem cells, the best results occur when the bone is seeded. Seeding is accomplished by drilling several horizontal holes into the bone to expose the marrow. This allows the stem cells and red blood cells to saturate the surgical area to improve healing. Stem cells are specialized cells in the bone marrow that can perform many different healing functions. In limb lengthening, for example, stem cells can help the new bone form new bone, blood vessels, nerves, tendons, and ligaments. Fuck, man. I mean, God, it's kind of genius, but what in the world, dude? But listen, this is all rudimentary. This is all the stuff of, it's just a matter of time. Your height is in your legs.
The results speak for themselves.
The results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, your whole life can change, but does your leg get stronger eventually?
Yeah, eventually. It doesn't sound like it's ever going to be.
I mean, no, they're going to get that. No, look, this technology, like cloning, like cells and tissue regeneration is the new frontier. Nanotechnology and tissue regeneration. It's all coming. It's all coming. I mean, so you're not going to stop it. And I don't know what happens when you open Pandora's box. This is exactly what Frankenstein was about. There's a dark side, there's a good side. We'll figure it out. Human beings always do.
Yeah, it's really, really happening.
Get the fuck out of here. That's the first lamb grown in an artificial womb. I can't take it. We are learning how to control our own biology. Do you understand what I think? Do you know what I think? I think this has already happened. I think we are self-replicating machines. And the singularity is already here. And this is a simulation. And we are already in this process. Our biology is long dead. We've been doing this. We've been recreating ourselves in better versions over and over again. That's what I think. So,
wow, it's so insidious because they're saying that they're using this because it cuts out the neonatal dangers of pregnancy.
Okay, so here's what I have to say.
That's the Matrix.
That's the Matrix. I know. But sometimes when all this stuff happens, people lose hope or they get really weird. It doesn't matter. Just do your work. That's what I'm realizing. Like for me, what I do is I just kind of I sit. Sitting quietly, I'm going to say something that's so unoriginal, but I have to remind myself I'm talking to myself right now. Sitting quietly and actually, so if you're going through a hard time, I think this helps. Okay, guys? Like anxiety and worry and all that. I kind of just sit quietly and I let my thoughts and I let all of my anxiety or my depression or my uncertainty or my overwhelming feelings, I just let them go where they will. And I just sit and let it just go where it will. But I try to be super honest about it. And I try to let it kind of work its way through me. Instead of trying to censor it or hide it and be afraid of it, I'm just like, let me see where it takes me. Let me see where this goes. That's what I do. Yeah. And I find that helps me with And then I just ask my Creator for the courage and the power to keep on the righteous path. And that righteous path, once again, I shouldn't even say the righteous path. The path that causes serpents to bury their head in the fucking sand when they see me a-coming.
Yeah.
The path that causes serpents to offer me their tail and take their head that is full of shame in my presence and dig it into the fucking ground. Remember this about yourself. You have your dark side. You have the roots that are seated in hell. And then you have your branches that are among the blessed, that are touching heaven. Okay? Understand that both are available to you at any time. It depends on where you look. It depends on the kind of people you surround yourself with. It depends on the decisions you make. And it depends on how fucking honest you want to be with yourself. You're going to live among the snakes. You're going to be the kind of person that causes snakes to bury their heads. Fucking deep shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm deep. I come up with metaphors. You understand, bro?
Yeah, I understand. And the good news is all this transhumanism and futurist stuff, it's a little scary, but you're going to be dead soon anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Thanks, Dylan. That's really fucking nice of you. Naples, Florida, Off the Hooks Comedy Club, December 1, 2, 3, 4. Boston, Massachusetts, Laugh Boston, December 29, 30, 31. Fort Wayne, Indiana, Summit Comedy Club, January 12, 13, 14. Let's go. Dania, Florida, Dania Improv. That's Fort Lauderdale, basically. January 19, 20, 21. New club. I can't wait. Nashville, Tennessee, Zanies, March 2, 3, and 4. New York, Sony Hall, March 11th. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm excited. And I apologize, everybody. See, we try to get this in, but this podcast is gonna grow, and we're gonna have some serious guests on here, and I'm gonna have a real podcast studio. I'm not happy with this studio. I'm not happy with this look. Remember, Toehold is taking orders. Let's go. All that good stuff. That's all I have to say. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and God bless.
Bryan Callen, this is his intro song. Bryan